Hello everyone, hope you all are doing good. So in the previous video we have seen how we can parameterize the mutation query by having the variable inside the query itself. So in this particular video we will be more focusing about how to use the query variables as a part of your update query, right? So let's see everything into action. So just a brief on the last thing what we did, we created a user, and after inserting a user we are just updating some properties on it. So this is like one of the new file that I have created, updated users varspec.js, which is like a copy of the same thing what we did previously. So in this file I will be doing a certain changes. So as this video is more focusing about updating a query using the query variable. So for this precondition there should be some data, right? So at this point we are getting some data, and we have already seen how we can use the query variables as a part of your insert operations in the query from the GraphQL side. So I will not be more talking about like using the query variables as a part of your insert query, because that's one thing that I have already talked in like my previous videos. So if you want to know more about this, you can just switch back to my one of the videos and just see how I have done the query variable part as a part of my insert user query. So this particular precondition will remain same for me. I am just creating the data. So this is the data with me at this point where I am just updating a data, right? So we'll see how we can use the query variables in the case of the mutation. So let's switch back to a Chrome browser, and let's see update user, and we'll say mutation. Let's create a query name as update users. So what all it will be accepting? So let's see, right? What all it will be accepting? It will be accepting ID, name, rocket name, sorry, ID and name, and your updated name. Okay, let's do that. Say ID, which is of type UID, and it cannot be null, so put an exclamation. Then it will be having name, which will be of string type to me, and it cannot be also null. Third will be like updated name, which will be again of type string, again which cannot be null. Now I will say update users set. What we are setting, so let's check. We are setting the name to updated name. So I will say name, what it will, my updated name, right? Now we'll be using the where clause, where I will be using the ID, and I will be using name equal to, right? So the ID should be ID for me, name should be name for me. What it will be returning? It will be returning the ID, the updated name, and the rocket, and say timestamp also if I want to. So that's what we did, right? We created updated user with the type ID as UID, name, and the updated name, because this name is what I want to update. So I'm saying update user set name equal to updated user. What will be the updated user name, where ID equal to the ID of it, and name should be, just a moment, where ID is like this, name equal to this. So there is no, let's remove the and part. Okay, where ID is equal to this, name equal to this. Now it is returning the data. Now you need to create your query variables. So what we will do, let's try to update this ID. And what is the name of this? you need to put the updated name as well. So I will just append O at the last, and we need to provide a comma. Right, now let's see. So you can see the name is updated from EPKBP to EPKBPO, right? So we'll be using the same query again. So let's copy paste the same query in our code. So it is a mutation. It should start with a mutation update user. Now what you need to do, you need to create const update vars equal to, let's copy paste the same thing again. Too much of copy paste, right? Let's say ID, let's say name, updated name. Okay, looks good. Yep. What we'll be doing, we'll be sending the data like this. After everything is done, let's grab the data into one of the variable dot users. We'll be using the filter. Once it is updated, okay, let's call the filter on the updated user dot id triple equals to id. At this point I will get updated user for me. Now I will do JSON.stringify update response. Done. So let me walk you through line by line what we did. So I think this we have already discussed the insert user part. Coming to this point, we have just created a variable with the name updated name, and we'll be using the random string node library for this. Then we have written the mutation query. We have defined the variables associated with it. We are sending the query along with the query variables, and then we are just filtering the data on the basis of ID so that we will get exactly one record. So let's try to run now. Source test, what is the stack name? Mutation update user vars stack.js. Oh, what happened? Cannot do property of filter. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's right, because there is no need to filter the data here, because only one data will come at this point, right? So we can remove this part. Yeah, you can see, right? I was thinking, right, we are just using the user query, so in that we will be getting a lot of data, so I was just trying to filter the data on the basis of ID, but forget that, it's not required. Okay, so you can see at this particular point, insert user, like this one, ESHWT rocket, updated to this one, and this is like your updated record. So thank you guys, that's all for this particular video. If you have any question, you can post into the section comment. I will just try to solve the question as soon as possible from my side. And if you like my content, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you everyone.